Greetings. Stella, please. Stella, please. Greetings and salutations, family. Happy Friday. Now, for those who can read lips, y'all know what I said. Let me put this on my finger. Happy Friday. I'm a little hot. Thank God it's finally getting a little warm in the A. I should have cut that light off. It's getting a little warm out here, a little warmer. As long as the sun is out, we can get some heat. When the sun goes down, we can freeze to death in the desert. Happy Friday. Happy Juma. I hope you all have had a great week. My week is not bad, has not been bad. I did get a CT. I could not get an MRI. So I did get a CT. I'm a little hot. I told you I'm a little hot. And then I just put my body butter on. So I feel like this. My body butter just holds my body and makes me feel great. So this is what my finger looks like. This is some BS, right? This is some natural born BS, but you see? So I have exercises that I must do. There is, I am happy to relate to you, or I can't think of the word, but I'm happy to report that I do not have a fracture. I hope y'all can hear me. Yes. We should be good. Okay. So I do not have a fracture. Thank God. My finger's not fractured, even though it is real jacked up. It's still swollen. So this is why I am keeping this on it. I also have another freezer finger thing, but it does go in the freezer. So I put it on my finger. It gets kind of cold. But they told me to keep this on pretty much on and off all day, right? To bring the swelling down, because the swelling is still a little swollen. But they also told me to do some exercises. So I do have to thank you so much to the person that said you're going to have to get a ball. Stella got a ball. I'm about to use one of her balls. So I have to do ball squeezes. I have to do finger spread with a rubber band, right? And it's just strengthening my finger. Um, I have to do. So this is one of the exercises. I have to do. This is what I'm doing. I'm starting with, and it's kind of hard. I'm not going to say it doesn't hurt. It does hurt. Taught me to get some new glasses, right? When they're falling off your face. Okay, so like I have to roll them. That hurts. That hurts. I have been doing like this. I have been doing this. I have been doing this, right? I have been doing that with my hand. But I do have to also do something that is called blocking and thumb finger touches. Those are a little complicated, right? Especially the top one where I'm doing this. So I have to do that with this. Now I could bend it this way, right? I don't know if you all can do this with your finger. I always feel weird that I can do that, but I can do this with my finger, right? Hey, 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 hey. So let me see. See, it's kind of hard for me to do that with I could do it easily with my pointer finger. Let me see how I can do it this one. All right. Yes. How about this one? No, see, I can't. It's harder for me to do that. But my pinky. Hey, 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 hey. So She's still a little jacked up, but I have to do exercises. Hopefully, I can get her straight again so that way I can be a hand model again. My hands and my feet are going to have OnlyFans accounts. I can pimp those out and make some money. Why not? My hands could be a straight up 304. My feet can be a 304, right? And I wouldn't feel bad about it either. Y'all can judge all you want. Oh God. Okay, so happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. Welcome back to Travel with Tay presents Friday Night Frights. Family Annihilators. So we all know that Fridays are reserved for true crime. I want to drop some more during the week, but Fridays are for Friday Night Frights. And I'm just always amazed at when I bring these stories to you all. I'm I'm bringing it to you because it has hit me, and I'm just like, what the heck? And sometimes I think when we see so much crime and negative things and the V word, VIOLENC, when we see that, a lot of times I think we become desensitized, right? And where we think that it's like, oh, that's over there. That's not going to hurt us. That's over there. That'll never hit us. And I have to remind myself when I look at movies or if I'm looking at a true crime documentary that this is true crime. This has actually happened. And it's disturbing at times. This music does not fit with what I'm saying, but it is extremely disturbing at times. So, again, welcome back to another episode of Friday Night Frights. Let me turn this down until it gets to a song that kind of fits. Because this is like, welcome back to Friday Night Frights. Like, Friday Night Frights is not true crime, right? But it is what it is. It's live. I have no control over the music, especially when it's just playing, right? Okay, so welcome back to another episode of Friday Night Frights. This one is a little disturbing because one of these crimes just happened days ago. We're going to get all into this. Now, ironically, when I heard the story of Kevin Boyd, now let's just stop at Boyd, the name Boyd. Let me just turn this down a little bit, right? Let me just stop at the name Boyd. You all know that I am suing Kwesi Boyd in the Gambia, West Africa, right? Greetings, 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 and salutations. If you come in and you like the way I look or whatever, just tap that screen, just tap the like button, and I would appreciate you for that. Now, you all know that I am suing someone named Kwesi Boyd, right? He scammed me, him, or Kathy, Phoenix Rain. They then scammed all of us, but we're going to get to the bottom of it in court, right? Because we have documents and we have who Jesus. Y'all don't know why my nickname is Sue 'em Sally. I sue corporations. I sue if you take my money and you break the law, you best believe I'm coming after you. Now, to the person that did not take my money, but you did break the law by stalking me, just know, baby, Tay Tay is still coming. Oh, you think I forgot? I didn't. I didn't. I just have other things to take care of. And this case is bigger than your case, but best believe, baby, I'll be back. Shit. Hey! So when I saw the name Boyd, I was like, oh, Boyd? Wait, hold on. But just so you all know that it is coming. Greetings, Eliza. Greetings, everyone. Welcome. Just know that my date in court is coming. It's been a long time. And if you are a part of my membership, then you may know a little bit more than others. But I just can't put everything out here. I just can't, right? But just know that Tay Tay is going to have her day in court, and everything happens and happen for a reason. I did not see a lot of things when I was going through it, and I was upset, like, well, why is this happening? Or why is this not happening? Blah, blah, blah. And God has said to me, now you see. Now do you see why this didn't go anywhere? I see. Amen and amen. I can tell you this. When it comes to criminal cases and when it comes to criminal cases, a lot of times people do not get justice, right? And let's use OJ Simpson. Let's use OJ Simpson case, the case against OJ Simpson, right? California versus OJ. I think it was in California, right? Yes, Brentwood, California. So, with that being said, if we think about what happened with OJ, the family did not think that they got justice. Nicole Brown Simpson's family and Ron Goldman's family, they felt like they did not get justice because OJ was acquitted, right? Not guilty. He walked out there a free man. And due to double jeopardy, they could not try him again. So he could walk out in the streets and say, yo, I did it. I mean, the only thing that will happen is the people will judge him and hate him, but the courts could not judge him again. That's double jeopardy. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, but that was amazing. So a lot of times people do not get justice criminally, but when they file that civil case, the civil case is all about money. So when you have evidence now, everything that came out in court, the family of Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson was able to use that in the civil case against O.J. Simpson. So he owed them a lot of money. Now, what happened supposedly where there was a robbery in Stella? And I don't know what happened with OJ as to why he was put in jail. Stella, 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 Stella. Now, you see, when I talk nicely to her, she just ignored me, right? I'm like, girl, we don't care. Stella, relax. You want to come inside? You want to come inside? She like, hell no, girl, I'm outside dog. And it's nice out here. So maybe she'll shut up now. So how did they get OJ? They got him. They came after his money. Now, when people talk about, what's her name? Um, Cardi B suing Tasha, right? Now, Cardi B sued her, she won. Now, if Tasha had a regular job, then Cardi B could have hired a private investigator. Her lawyers could have hired a private investigator and found her assets and found out where she worked and get her wages garnished. Now, it would have took her years to pay her millions of dollars. Well, I don't know what Tasha Mack made. Tasha Mack, like like that show. I can't remember the show. The Game. No, it's a Tasha Mack, but I don't know how much Tasha made, right? But when you're suing a regular person and you know where they work and you know where they bank, it's easy to get their bank account just frozen. You go to court, you prove your case, the judge says judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $100 million. Well, Your Honor, they didn't bother to come to court, so is there a way for me to get my money? Do you know where they work? Do you know where their bank? Yes. Okay, go over there and talk to the clerk. Next thing I know, I'm getting a phone call, Miss White. I'm writing out money orders right now because no, what they didn't say is because their bank account was frozen. That's what they didn't say. So When people, I don't really chase people criminally. Either I'm gonna get you criminally or I'm not, right? You sitting in jail, okay, that may give me some solace, but I'm not gonna get my money back. But if I come after you civilly, that's all about money, baby. So I may get my money back. Unless you're gonna quit your job. You gonna quit your job? Well, I don't know. There are people that work under the table just so they don't have to pay child support. I mean, some people are just FOWW. FOUL. I'm gonna say it the other way too. FOWL. They foul. Foul, foul. So that's just the reality. So a lot of times people go after people civilly instead of criminally. So hence the case for Quasi Boyd. Serious Crimes did report the crime. They investigated the case, the complaint, my complaint, and what did they do? They submitted they said, well, we referring this to the prosecutor to be prosecution to the prosecute. They're referring it to the prosecution department or the prosecutor for Quasi Boyd to be prosecuted for fraud, and that didn't happen. But thank God in the Gambia, if you don't pay civilly, you can go to prison. Now that doesn't happen in America. No, no, no. We wish it did. I know a lot of people wish it did. So let's get into this. So when I heard the Kevin Boyd true crime story, I thought, what a horrible mother to do this to their child, because Kevin Boyd was 16 when this crime happened. So I didn't think that these two crime stories would overlap until what has happened this past Sunday in Brentwood, California. So now, this is a huge story coming out of Brentwood, California. And I believe, like I said, the last time we heard a story this huge was when Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman was tragically taken off this planet. However you feel about that, I'm just saying, right? They were tragically taken off this planet. I wouldn't want to go the way they did. I don't want to go in a violent crime. Don't nobody want that. I don't think anyone want that. I mean, what the heck are you thinking when they about to say, oh Jesus, I don't even want to think about that. Mm-mm. And may the souls that of the departed that has moved on that way, I pray that at some point in time that they can move on to their next life and rest, right? So if you're wondering like me, why does Brentwood sound familiar? That's why. That is where the OJ Simpson, Ron Goldman, Nicole Brown Simpson, that was in that town. That was in that area. So I guess they got a lot of money. Now, did I Google the house of Ron Reiner? I want to see it from the top because I know that there are pictures now. If there weren't pictures before, there are pictures now. Now, by now, we have all heard of the tragic story of the highly acclaimed movie director and actor Ron Reiner and his wife Michelle Singer Reiner. The son, Nick Reiner, their son, has been charged with their with their unaliving. With 2 counts of first degree murder with special circumstances. Now, normally in the true crime stories, when I hear special circumstances, especially with cases that are coming out of California, it is in regards to someone unaliving another person due to money being the motive. Now, I wonder if that was the case here when I heard special circumstance, but I don't know. Time will tell, right? When the case comes out. I can't believe this. When you hear things like this, you're like, what in the hell? And I'm looking at this in real time, right? I got the notification. I'm like, well, what is this? Oh my God, him and his wife. So then they say something about Charlie Kirk, and I'm like, what did he say? Right? So now I'm just going into the rabbit hole to find out, well, was he unalive because of something he said? So I'm looking at it. I'm like, wait, okay, he was an activist. Okay, he was a Democrat activist. Okay, so this has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. Why the heck did they throw that in there? But I think when it first came out, people were just like the news, which are like vultures, right? I'm going to get to that. They just pounced. Like, oh, I don't know why he said this. Oh, this, that, and the third. Oh, Jesus Christ. Um, you know, there we go. Mm. I don't know how you doing, Ninja, but we don't use that type of language over here. Well, I don't let people. I do use it. I go out. I will say the ninja word in a minute, but yeah, I don't know you like that. So deuces. Yes, very sad what happened to both of them at the hands of their child. I don't know, like, what in the world is going through someone's mind that it's like, yo, I'm just going to unalive my parent. What? What? Okay. Well, we're going to get into the psychology of this. And I'm not a psychologist. I'm just breaking it down from my opinion, right? Because this happens far too often. If you are not a true crime addict like I am, Instacart addict, I, true crime addict, I need to go to anonymous places, right? True crime addict anonymous. I need to go to all these places, right? I yes, but where does that come from? Right? So, oh, let me get back to my notes because y'all know I'll be all over the place, right? Now, when we start really looking into what has happened with um Ron Reiner and his son. Now, okay. Now we do know that Ron Reiner and his son had a tumultuous relationship. Like, I think Nick, the son, has said in the past that he didn't have a good relationship with his father. And I think they did some type of being Charlie, I don't know the name of it or something, but they did a project together. And the son said that is when he really got to know his dad. Now, if his dad is an actor, former actor, Hollywood acclaimed director, he's probably always gone. And this is what people don't realize when you are the child of a celebrity. I've never been the child of a celebrity, but in my mind, I'm like, yo, these children have everything. You have access to the best schools. You have access to the best foods. You have access to the best trips, vacations. You have access to the best of the best. Like Beyonce's daughter, right? I hope she is not a jerk, the oldest one, Blue. I hope, but boy, I hope she is not a jerk like her daddy and passive aggressive like her mama. But when you are a child of a celebrity, everything is at your fingertips. Now, I will never really understand their life because I wasn't born into that. I always wonder when I see the rich children in these neighborhoods, and it's like even here, I'm gonna tell you all about a true crime story of Arizona, right? Crazy. But when people, we know that in the suburbs, people have money. And when they have money, Elisa said it, spoil rotten. You have money, you're spoiled, you everything is at your fingertips, and they go out and find drugs, alcohol, and everything else bad that they can get their hands on. When I found out, excuse me, that Ben Affleck, um, what's his name from War of the Worlds? Brad Pitt, um, Bradley Cooper. All of these people were alcoholics. They're sober now, but they were all alcoholics. And I'm like, why? But then you think about it. Look at how some of these YouTubers that are not even big time celebrities, how they behave. Now imagine if you are a real celebrity. My legs hurt so bad from yesterday's workout. My hamstrings, y'all. Oh, I wish I had a man to rub them. Y'all know I'm lying. A man be like, "Hey, here I am." I'm like, that wasn't me. That was her. That she said that. I didn't say that, right? So, they be like, "I don't see anyone behind you." Oh, you don't see her? She's there. So I see in the suburbs, like A lot of these young people, they always find other things to do that is detrimental. Now, I don't understand why, because I've never been that rich, right? My parents weren't rich like that, where I could go to any school that I want. Why don't I have my bachelor's? It's because I don't want to be in debt. Real talk. Real talk. Excuse me. I don't want to be $40,000 in debt. So that's why I do not have my bachelor's. But if I had someone to pay for me to go to school, Tay Tay, well, you would be calling Tay Tay Dr. White, Dr. White, Dr. White, PhD, Dr. White. But yes, I would be Dr. White. If I had someone to pay for my education, I would have the degrees up the wazoo in the way Kanye said his mother was, degrees just stacked up in the closet, up in the corner. That's how I would be if someone else was paying for my education. So I don't understand when these rich children, unless they have, because we know addiction is considered a disease, right? Like I can go out and have one drink. I go in there and make me a smoothie, spike it with some Cuban rum from Cuba, and being here dancing, doing whatever, looking at a movie, just chilling. May not even drink the whole thing, right? But I'm not an alcoholic. Some people can't have just one drink. They have one drink and it's like kick in the door, wave in the 4-4. All you heard, where is the alcohol more? Right? It's like crazy. Like, and I that's not how my brain works. So I don't necessarily understand it. Now, it could be hereditary where there is addiction. Mojito. I if y'all see me drinking, I'm in the Gambia. The Gambia will turn you into an alcoholic. If I'm drinking, I'm in the Gambia. Or I'm going out to party because I like to have a drink and just dance or whatever. Okay. We don't need to know that, Lance. So I'm gonna leave that hidden. Okay. All right. we gonna leave that hidden because that's what the singers do to not mess up their vocal cords. Yeah, they people are alcoholics are very creative with their drinking. And I'm gonna leave that there. So yeah, so if I'm drinking, I'm going out the party, right? That's it. Or I'm in the Gambia and I'm stressed, like, gotta throw them back. You gotta throw them back. So, and it okay, Lord Jesus, yes, that was some wild times. I hope that was when you were young and in college, and you have some wisdom now to know that that is not what we're supposed to be doing with alcohol. So, I find that young people that come from wealthy households and backgrounds, they go out and they tend to find things that um, will destroy them. And it seems like that is what was going on with Nick. So Nick has been struggling with addiction and homelessness pretty much all his life. Can you imagine your mother and father are celebrities? I mean, big time celebrities, and you're homeless. Now, why was he homeless? Probably because mommy and daddy said, we tired of this. You're not going to abide by our rules. You cannot live here. So there are some people, I know someone that I do business with, and their son just popped up, and I'm like, oh, after 10 years, where he come from? Oh, he was homeless on the streets. I said, what? You got a business. But the son was doing that heroin, girl singing and the heroin. You're heroin. Um, a hero in, and they were doing that, and they were like that and that meth. I swear, Jesus, there is a little boy, a young man. He's like a teenager, right? He's in middle school, and the mother's like, every time we drive down the street, he sees like a little. We have a lot of double wide trailers out here, right? So if he sees a double wide trailer, he said that's a meth lab. He is obsessed with meth labs. She's like, boy, that is somebody's home. Mm-mm, that's a meth lab. Now, when we were talking, he comes out. He's like, "I'm telling you, all of these are meth labs," and it's like, okay, so he's obsessed with meth labs, but that is another big thing that is used out here. It's the Southwest, right? The Midwest, all of those places, they have their rug of choice. Um, good, Eliza. That's why I don't drink like that. Now, my some of my siblings, they're just like my dad. My dad was an alcoholic, so I am conscious of when I drink. I don't drink and get blackout. Da 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 da. Da. I don't do that. I don't do that. Thank you, Stephen Elliott. Appreciate you. So I don't do that. And it's a lot of people do not touch drugs and alcohol for that reason. Because if addiction runs in your family, you don't know how you're going to react to it. I forgot to put my earrings in. You don't know how you're going to react to it until you're in it. And so many times I hear the stories of the parents, um they're fighting with their children all of their life because the child is they have a problem. I know some people here, like they're like they come from trash, like straight up trailer trash. And every last one of them had a drinking problem. It's just that one of them, she was like, I'm not drinking anymore. She was like, she told me she has a record, this, that, and the third, but she does not drink anymore because she knows that if she drinks, it's going to be a problem. Whiskey is her thing. And the story she tell me, I was like, girl, I wish I knew you when you were drunk because I would go out with her and laugh. I would be cracked. I ain't gonna lie, drunk people are funny, but um, the situation is not funny because we know that alcohol withdrawal is the one thing that will unalive you, just like heroin. It will unalive you. Um, there is an alcohol withdrawal protocol, and yeah, they put you like if you're in a hospital and you come in on that type of protocol, then they have a one-to-one with you. Why? This person because you're gonna try to escape all night or all day. You trying to go you because alcohol, your body depends on it. That's man-made. People will talk about Mary Jane all day, right? I mean, they're growing it now. Who knows what they're spraying on it? But that was man-made. But cocaine is man-made too, right? I don't know if they got to do anything to it. I have no idea. I don't understand that. I don't mess with that. I've never sold that. Never, contrary to what Quasi had a nerve to say, right? To accuse me of just defame my name, defame my character. You're gonna have to prove that in court. But my thing is um certain things your body becomes dependent on. And evidently, Nick had an issue. He had a serious problem. Now, addiction. Okay. Um, to start a channel where people can get help for their mental health. That's excellent. And thank you so much. We're going to get our day in court. We're going to get our day in court. Shantae White versus Quasi Boyd. We're going to have our day in court. Thank you for that. Send me peace, love, positivity, and justice. Right? Um, good vibes. All I know is, to provide the lawyer with the evidence to fight the case. And that's it. That's all I know. I know how to follow directions. I think that's probably why it would be good for me to just keep going in school because I know how to follow directions. It may get hard, but following directions is good for me. So with the case, I'll just follow the directions, give him the evidence, and move on. That's why you hire a lawyer to release stress from you, right? It's just that it's sad that I had to hire two lawyers and a possible third. The third one, I only had the consultation, and then they gave me back my consultation and the case file. But this lawyer, I'm confident in this lawyer. I am. And I thank God for this person. And I would never say their name. Sorry. Sorry. Sorry, y'all. I would never say their name. No. But yeah, so when it comes to addiction, I've seen it too many times where people become they're chasing that high. And unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't matter who is an obstacle in the way of them getting the finances that they want for their extracurricular activity. And sometimes things turn bad and people end up unalive. And sometimes it's their family members. Now, I will say this. I will say this. I feel like it was the addiction. Now, what they said was they got into an argument. There was a huge argument at Conan O'Brien's holiday party between Rob and Nick. There was a family member that did not want to, they wanted to stay anonymous, but it was said that Rob said he was petrified of Nick and he was afraid that Nick was going to hurt him. This was Saturday night. Sunday, they were unalive. Who knows what time? What do you do as a parent? I'm not a parent, y'all. I'm that tough love person. They like, oh, you're not gonna be like that when you have a parent, when you have a child. I'm like, so when I have a child, I'll just become a softie? Why? Because I know that if I'm soft on this child, the world is not gonna be soft on them, especially if they got hair like this and skin like me. The world is not gonna be soft on them. So why would I be soft on them? Especially if it's a boy. I don't know. I just think differently. People always ask me, have I ever been in the military? No, I have not. But um, I have that drill sergeant mindset. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I see society for what it is. I don't know. But what does a parent do when they are afraid of their child? Because evidently Rob had gotten to the end of his rope. You're arguing with your son. You are a A-list celebrity in Hollywood, and you're arguing with your son at another A-list celebrity's home where there are other celebrities there. We know if that has happened, it has gotten really bad. The things that has happened behind closed doors has been horrible. Nick may have allegedly put his hands on his parents before this, right? But how many families, especially I see this with wealthy families, they're like, we got to keep our mouth shut. We don't want anyone to know what actually happened until someone ends up unalive. And then it's like, oh, wow, they should have told someone. Or we thought that something was going wrong, but we didn't say anything. And people don't say anything until, my hair is so soft. People don't say anything until it gets really bad. So I can imagine what was going on behind the scenes before this blowout on Saturday. Yeah, now, this is what I'm saying. Now, if he was homeless before, so at some point in time, he must have allegedly gotten himself back together. And because you know how many people that have, people in their family that have those addictions, where it's like, no, you're not welcome at my home because every time you come to my home, something goes missing. So who knows like what the relationship was. We knew it was tumultuous, we knew that it was rocky. I don't think that they ever thought that Nick would do anything like this, but you have to, this is the thing when it comes to like domestic DV and all this other stuff. We see what can happen, but I guess in our minds we're just like, that won't happen. I never thought I would be assaulted in the streets in the Gambia at 3:30 in the afternoon, but that happened. Right? So I feel like, they say when you're about to pass away or something's about to happen that you have premonition, and I think that was Rob Reiner's premonition. I think that was his premonition that he knew that his son was going to do something to him. Now, get this. If we're at the party together and we have this big blowout, I wouldn't want you at my house. I'll pay for you to go hotel. Let me call. I'm Rob Reiner. Hey, this is Rob Reiner. This is my credit card number. Put my son. He's coming there. Get the f out. Bye. Not even get out. When we left that party, Ninja, you wouldn't have left with me. And then I'm telling someone that I'm afraid. So we have to follow our first instincts, myself included. I personally know what happens when you do not follow your instincts. I'm just grateful to still be here, breathing, telling you the story, especially dealing with Gambia, right? I could have ended up unalive. So, with Nick being in and out of rehab all his life, homeless for long periods of most of his life, like I said, this was not the first time that we have seen a parent of a addict unalive for money. Or I mean, because the reason why I say it's money is because, like, okay, what were y'all actually arguing about? You got a girlfriend, your dad don't like your girlfriend. What were you arguing about? In my mind, is money. Because his addiction has gotten so bad that give me money. You got money, give me money. You don't give me money, I'm gonna hurt you. I didn't slapped you already. I didn't did this to you. I have done some things to you that the world does not know about, that you are petrified. And now you're telling a family member that you're petrified. It had to be money. He wouldn't have been coming back to my house. I agree. And the thing is he's a young man. He's 32. He's 32. So even unless they had a pow pow, and I can't imagine a parent pow powing their child, right? I guess if it's them or me, but I know that it's just like, what? I gotta stop it. Don't come any further. And they probably still wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? Um, there are some parents where I've seen on true crime stories where it's just like they knew that their child was going to do something to them, but it was their child, and it's like, well, da 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 da, and they just stayed and allowed it to happen. I mean, their child ended up in prison, but it's like, why should you sacrifice your life? If your child is doing wrong and you know that you raised them properly, then you need to let them feel the pain. That's what wakes a lot of people up. Like, we discipline our children and we put them in timeout and things like that so that they know not to do this again. But I don't understand the parents that cover for these children and then they end up sacrificing their lives, because exactly, parents' lives matter too. I agree. Um it's just sad that Rob didn't have enough time to get away from his son and listen to his instinct. That was him telling his family that was probably his last straw. Like, I'm scared. I'm scared my son is going to do something to me. Now that family member probably said, "Oh no, it's okay," because what? Nick has been doing this his whole life and nothing has happened. But I feel like we need to stop being on autopilot and listen. And really listen to people, because like there was someone that was on Facebook recently and they're always so happy go jolly and joking and laughing and they changed their profile picture and their cover photo, and it was just dark and sad and a tear, and I'm like, hey sis, you okay? In the comment, not in the comments, behind the scenes, you okay? And they said, hey, um what did they say? They said they're going through some things but they will be okay, right? Or they're okay, but they said that they were okay, but they said that they were going through some things, and they went on to tell me what they were going through. And I'm not going to sit and watch someone suffer. If I can, and I don't know, sometimes, like, I know that that's why I'm blessed. I'm sorry, it's something in my eye. I know that that's why I'm blessed because if God tells me bless this person, in my mind I'm like, I don't want to do that. No, why? That's the trauma, right? I've been traumatized, right? I'm like, they're a scammer. This, that, and the third. But I will hear just as clear as day, bless this person. And I don't know if it's true or not, but I am gonna bless this person. But what I wanted to say is you to pay attention. I know that we're going through everything. We're going through so much. We're trying to cook, clean, live our lives, have a boyfriend, have a husband, educate ourselves, read a book, this, that, and the third, travel, do our nails, do our hair. We doing so much, right? But I feel like if we are paying attention, certain things like with deja vu, or if you have a moment, it's like, wait, God showed me something. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, let me stop what I'm doing and pay attention. God, what are you trying to show me? Right? And because the family member probably was just going through the motions of saying Nick was going to be okay. Nick does this. This is what Nick does. Y'all are going to be all right. This, that, and the third. And Rob was right. Rob was right to be afraid because look at what happened the next day. Well, thank you. This person says, I've been going around different live chats saying Jesus loves you. Yes. And then say, I love you too. Because everyone doesn't believe in Jesus, right? Right? But thank you for that. Jesus loves you. And I do too. Even the bad people, they need love. They've been going through some things. This is why they scammers, right? Art Kathy, Quasi, all them. That's what they're scammers. They need love. They're looking for something. Oh, that's so much better. My glasses were so foggy. So, um, I don't think that the family member knew or really caught what was going on. And they were just like, oh, and this is just my perception. Like Nick is okay. He's just going through some things. Rob, you're going to be fine. Maybe you're being paranoid. But Rob knew what he was feeling. He knew. But I also think that celebrities also think about what could happen if it got out. Oh, he's doing this. Oh, he's doing that. It's okay. They'll talk about you, but your son has been like this all his life. All his life, he has been like this. So it's okay if they talk about you. You got enough money. Who cares? Broke people be like, whatever. Let them talk. But look at what happened now. Trying to hide or save face, and look at what happened now. Now you and your wife are gone. Your son is in prison. Right? Let's see what he's looking at. Let's read this article. Let me see. I want to tell y'all about the LA press conference. So there was an LA press conference, and when this happened, and the chief is a black dude, right? The chief of police is a black dude. It wasn't taken seriously. It wasn't. That's why I implore you, Stella, please go back to your little. I heard you biting on your little toy. Where your treat at? Get your ball. She got the mind span of a 2-year-old. Um, I just implore people to just stop and pay attention because there are a lot of issues of mental health going on, including with myself, right? I was angry. I was extremely angry of losing my money, and it comes off, trauma comes out different ways. Some people are depressed and they don't want to, do anything. Me, I'm in the gym, but I'm just like, it's like the Incredible Hulk. I would have turned green. was a cartoon, I would have turned green and just started and with not Donkey Kong, what's his name? King Kong. So I would have turned into the Incredible Hulk, and then I would have been like Donkey Kong, just smashing countries and stuff like that. I was angry, right? But everyone doesn't really know how to deal with emotions, and I'm learning as I get older. I'm learning to understand my emotions, and learning how to cope with things better, because life is not what it used to be. And we are way more stressed out, and some of us are way more stressed out. I done lost all this money, so I am definitely more stressed out than I've ever been. Now I'm not. Yalla bahna. But being just really just paying attention, like, hold on, what did you just say? Yeah, I'm scared of my son. Okay, so let's talk about this. And then I don't think he should come back to your home tonight. Right? So y'all came here together. What's going on here? That's But so many of us, we are so connected with these, but we're so disconnected. Oh, we talk, 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 talk. See somebody in front of your face, you don't have a conversation with them. This is Wait, hold on. This is too little, too late. I knew it was you. When you cooking a turkey again? Well, I'm going to the church to get some free food on the 27th. So if they give me another turkey, I will be doing the turkey again. And I did buy some stuffing. They were on sale for 25 cents a box. So I spent $2. So I will be making plates again. Thank you so much. His siblings won't be putting any money on his books, I'm sure of it. I didn't know that there were siblings. I thought it was just him. Okay. So let's get into this article. Oh, wait, wait, wait. I wanted to finish telling you about the press conference. So the chief is a black man. He came out saying what he was and was not going to say, right? Um, what he was and what he was not going to say. Is that my husband? Y'all know I got a future husband, right? No, I'm just joking. Well, I wish I had Jordan Peele's money. Black people all look alike. So the reporters asked about who the people were inside, right? The chief said the coroner's office will answer that, right? So then they asked, how did the people in there die? So um the chief was just basically like, I didn't say anyone died, because he can't confirm or deny what's going on. It's just that there was like a wellness check or something like that. There was some type of check that they went to go do, and I don't know if they saw something or they didn't see something, but they were waiting on a search warrant, and that is what the chief said. Now, these I ain't gonna lie, I was laughing. I was like, these reporters are a hot ass mess. Okay. So the chief said that the coroner will answer that. They was like, how did they die? So now they like, we know that it is Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer Reiner and blah blah blah. And he was like, we can't confirm or deny because we need a search warrant before we can go inside. Well, did y'all try to get the search warrant? Are we safe here in Brentwood? You are always safe. The person that you're not safe from is your damn family member, because that's what happens when there is an unaliving. Is most of the time is not stranger danger. It is someone that knows you. When I was robbed, who robbed me? Allegedly. I didn't contacted the prosecutor. I'm on day 3 of him ignoring my message. So now I'm gonna contact the clerk. Hey, so when is court again? Oh, you think I'm gonna let it go? Y'all ninjas must have forgot. I am as petty as 50 Cent. I don't know what you heard about me, but I am petty as 50 Cent. See? Okay. So I am petty. I'm not letting this go, ninja. Why? Because y'all ninjas need to know to stop doing this to people, right? Yes. Tay Tay is getting herself back, and I'm coming back double barrels. These damn demons. So they said that they needed a search warrant to gain access into the home. So they haven't been in there. So one reporter asked, were they safe in Brentwood? And is someone in custody? The chief said, no, no, we don't have anyone in custody. But yes, you all are safe in Brentwood. So when it was all over, the reporters just went back to joking and laughing. You hear them because the mics were still on. Because this is just another story to them. But unfortunately, we know that this was someone's life that was lost and taken. Not lost, but taken. I don't know what is happening to society and humanity. Like I keep saying, with everything that's going on politically in this world, it's going to make us look at each other and look at your neighbor, no matter what they look like. Because the only time Americans come together is when something bad happens. That's when it's black, white, Asian, Mexican, Latina. I don't want to say Mexican, Latina, Asian, Middle Eastern, Caucasian, and Black Americans. This is when people come together. I ain't never seen people come together when Obama was inaugurated and we all standing out there in the cold and freezing to death, and somebody gave me some hand warmers because I didn't know it was gonna be that damn cold. And I was like, oh, what is this? And you just rub it in your hand, and it's just, I said, I ain't never seen it. Yeah, you get them from CVS. These were Caucasian people. We were all out there freezing together, thinking America was going to be a change. I think we know better than that now. But anyway, um, I just feel like this is what society is the direction is taking us into, and the only time we really going to understand it if we got that third eye open and we're like, okay, we need to look out for each other for humanity, not just because of whatever, but for humanity. Now, is this just um what do they call it, wishful thinking? I mean, it could be. But if you think like me, then we here. Then when I buy my land, then you may want to buy, I want y'all around me, right? Good people. Not like Quasi and Art and Phoenix and the scammers and RJ Mahdi and all these other people that are scamming in America and in Africa. We don't want them. Put them all on an island together and let them unalive each other and scam each other, right? No honor amongst thieves. So now let's talk about this. Let me see. I think I hit all my points. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so now let's talk about the article, which is going to break down a few more things that I did not see. Now it said what led up to Nick Reiner's arrest after alleged unaliving of his parents. Now, this says this is the LA County Medical Examiner's LA County Medical Examiner releases Rob and Michelle Reiner's causes of unaliving death. Filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle died of multiple sharp force injuries, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office reported Wednesday. This comes after authorities have previously confirmed that the couple were fatally. Shout out to the people that are not afraid to read it out loud. There's some adults that don't want to read out loud because they can't. Jesus help us. So Rob Reiner, 78, and Michelle Singer Reiner, 70, were found unalive Sunday afternoon at their home in the upscale LA neighborhood of Brentwood, police say. Upscale, LA neighborhood, upscale. Their son, 32-year-old Nick Reiner, has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder with special circumstances in their slayings. Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman announced Tuesday. The charges include a special allegation that he personally used a dangerous and deadly weapon, a knife, according to the DA's office. It's that's why I say if he was petrified and he told the family member the night before of this, there was some other abuse that was happening before this. And I wish, but we just don't know the time, the day, or when we're going to go. But I wish that he paid attention to his instincts and what he was feeling, because it would have saved his life, him and his wife. Now it says investigators believe Nick Rayner fatally stabbed his parents early Sunday morning before fleeing, because there is a video or something of him um going across the park. Let me get to that part. The bodies of Rob and Michelle Reiner were found at about 3:40 p.m. Sunday, police said, and Nick was found and arrested in Exposition Park neighborhood of South LA at approximately 9:15 Sunday. Authorities have yet to provide a possible motive in the unalivings and what led them to arrest Nick Reiner. So we're not going to know that until we're in court. But honey child, if I live close, I would be right out there in the courtroom and then coming to y'all to tell y'all exactly what happened, just like the way Tisa Tell did with Diddy. Right? I'm just a true crime addict. And I'm just like, so we know what the motive is. We can speculate what the motive is. If he has been homeless and an addict his whole life, we can speculate what that is. But when you say I can't imagine, Eliza, there are some times where I hear audio of the unaliving of someone. That doesn't always happen. But I put myself there and I'm just like, I can't imagine. I don't ever want to imagine the fear where you know this person is coming to take your life and you can't do anything about it. He was 32. He's a strong young man. They were 78 and 70. So even if they were bodybuilders, unless they were Mike Tyson, they wouldn't be able to defend themselves. So to be petrified in an argument with your dad or with your son, and then to come home and they weren't found until 3:15, people think that happened in the middle of the night after the party, and then he left. I did not, I have to see. They said when he was found, but there is a video. I didn't check the timestamp or anything of when they saw him walking through a park or to the park or whatever. But these people, like, you're living in a mansion. You know they're screaming. You know they're yelling. Are their houses soundproof so people won't know what's going on in their home for privacy because they are A-list celebrities? I don't know if the paparazzi really follows Rob Reiner around the way they will follow around Brad Pitt. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know how much. Ooh, ooh. I stretched my legs and the water went flying on water bottle. So, oh no, no, no. Oh God, y'all, my legs. Holy crap, sticks, my legs. Oh my God, my legs hurt so bad. This is not even funny. Oh my God. I think I'm gonna have to take a Tylenol tonight. Now, the workout I did yesterday, they said, what's her name? Joe was like, so we're gonna do lower abs and upper body. I said, now why the hell are my legs and hamstrings burning then? Because you lied, girl. We squatting and punching up. Squatting and that's legs, boo. But it's all good. Oh, no pain, no gain. This weight is not gonna leave on its own, but it's damn sure gonna leave. But I'm thinking, like, are these houses soundproof so that there is some type of privacy and paparazzi can't sit outside their home and be listening and all this other stuff? I don't know. But it didn't look like. So I'm looking at the house from the sky, right? Which is not doing the house any justice. The house is probably absolutely humongous, but no one heard them screaming. And just to know that your son is coming at you and he probably has a look in his eye that you have never seen before, or you have seen before, but this time it's different. He's coming, he got a mission. He's on a mission. Ooh, I didn't think about that, Elisa. Elisa says there is probably video footage of the crime if they have cameras inside the house. Wow. That's interesting. I didn't even think about that. You're right. Because they were saying it went quick in real time. They were saying Nick was, he's being he's they're looking at him. Oh, maybe the son did it. This, that, and the third. Oh, he is arrested. He's been detained. They questioning him. Oh, he's been arrested. He's been charged. So it went quick. Now I don't know if because the chief of police said that they were talking to family members, that they were talking to all the family members, and then they will have a conference the next day. And that's when everything came out where they were saying it was them, and then Nick was being arrested. And I was like, oh my God. So I agree with you. They have something. This is why I said if I lived in LA, I would be there live and on location from Los Angeles, California at the courthouse. Now, I would be probably pissed off about the parking all the time. It's expensive, but I would be there for that murder case, that murder trial. I am honestly thinking about finding out about a murder trial in my town and going to it. I don't know what the hell is in someone's mind to think I'm gonna unalive you. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can't stand Crazy Boyd and Aunt Kathy and Phoenix Lane. Right? This is what they look like to me. Right? I can't stand them. But I'm not going to say I'm going to why would I do that? I would throw away my life for I'm not doing that. I will fight them in court. But I pray that no one ever makes me that mad where I'm like, I want to take your life. I know. No. Now, self-defense is something different. If someone comes to me and they trying to take my life, then I'm about to, damn, that's what you want? That's what you want. I can give you what you want, tell you what you really, really want. So it says, two sources who attended a party Saturday night. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it was Saturday. Excuse me. It was Saturday night. Two sources who attended a party Saturday night at Conan O'Brien's home, where Rob and Nick Reiner were also present. They told CBS News on Monday that a brief but loud argument between the two took place. And so many times, I mean, these rich people, they like, be minding our business. But Conan O'Brien says he feels bad now that he didn't pay more attention to that argument. You have to know your friend, right? If you all see me out somewhere and I am arguing loud with someone, that's not my normal. That's not normal for me, right? Now, you all may not know me, but these people knew Rob. Do you think that Rob is the type of person to just be out arguing real loud at a party? I don't think so. He's of a certain age. When we hope, I'm not saying some of them people in Gambia, they gaining age, they gaining numbers, but they're not gaining uh knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. People are really going to megatize I am not supporting a drug dealer, whether he is a former drug dealer or he is an active drug dealer. These people, do you all hang out with drug dealers in America? Because I don't. No disrespect to the drug dealers. That's just not my life. I don't hang out with crackheads either. Okay. But the people that are going to Mega Tie, former drug dealer, he has said this. He has said he is a self-proclaimed former drug dealer, and people are going to his cigar lounge in the Gambia. Yo, these people, why would you support a drug deal? These people are not my people. They not like us. They not like us. What it do, Saint? I missed you, little mamas. No, we don't hang out with drug dealers, not like-minded. We want to be around like-minded folk. We do not hang out with drug dealers. But yeah, I had just had to throw that in there because I'm like, we, what? We supporting drug dealers? So we're supporting the people that have destroyed our community in Africa. Baby. Not me though. Not me. So um we're talking about Rob Reiner. And if I lived in California, how I will be at that court case. But hey, court cases normally take, Stella, please. They normally take 2 to 3 days, 2 to 3 years to get into court. So who knows where I will be in 2 to 3 years. If I got a little bit of free time, Tay Tay will be live and on location in LA for this case. Who live in California? Can I come visit? I don't know anyone that lives in LA though. But I want to be there for this case because this is crazy. This is another case of the century. This is a case of the century, right? This is of our generation. I don't want to say our generation because I remember when OJ happened, that was my generation as well, right? So I'm living through the first case, big case in Brentwood, which was OJ Simpson and Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. And now the second one is Rob Reiner and his wife. This is crazy. I'm sitting here like, wow, this boy really did this. Now they said Nick Reiner, but like I said, I'm going to say this again for the people that just came in. If you see your friend or someone that you may or may not know from social media and you see that they're a happy post or whatever, or if it's someone that you know in person, just pay attention. If you see them sad, or it's okay to ask your friend, are you okay? Do you need to talk? Do you need to vent? Do you want to go out to dinner? You want to go have coffee? Right? Are you okay? It's okay to say that. I did that to a friend recently and she going through it. I just saw her posting sad, depressing pictures. And I'm like, this is not her. So I said that to say that people that were at this party did not, they dropped the ball. They didn't pay attention to what Rob Reiner was saying, that he was petrified of his son. So even with there being a brief but loud argument between the two. So now Nick Reiner's movements following the murder are under investigation. CBS News learned Wednesday that he checked into a hotel in Santa Monica early Sunday morning, which is about 4 miles away from his parents' Brentwood home. Security video obtained Tuesday also showed him inside a gas station convenience store just before his arrest. His first court hearing was Wednesday, and his arraignment is scheduled for January 7th. Hotchman said the charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison without parole or the ultimate penalty for unaliving someone. And you know that is real in California. Now, whether he gets to the electric chair or whatever, Jetty Jeff Y, thank you so much, Juan Carlos. I don't know if OJ did it. I mean, he said he did it in his. Wait, hold on. Let me say this. I did not read his book. Allegedly, he said that he did it in his book. But I don't know because I think I heard something different, right? I did hear something different. But I do know that case was that was a huge case that separated the country. White and black, it separated the country. And whether he did it or he didn't, there's always going to be people in people's minds that think he did it and people that think he didn't do it. I think there are a lot of things behind the scenes that we do not know about that case, and we may never know in this generation. Who knows? Because a lot of stuff now with what Diddy has done is coming out. So who knows? We are seeing in real time what people being brought to justice. So I don't know. Yes. So Rob and Michelle were married in 1989 and they have 3 children together. Thanks, Elisa. I didn't know that they had multiple children. There are 2 other children, Jake and Romy Reiner, released a statement Wednesday calling the loss of their parents horrific and devastating. Nick was probably the outcast because he had addiction issues, but how do you love your brother after after he took your parents away, right? How do you love your brother? How? Juan Carlos, thank you so much. Juan Carlos pops in, he throws me some diamonds, and then I don't know if he's still in here, but thank you so much. I appreciate you. Gracias, mi amigo. Mi amigo internetaro. Okay, so I just kind of like made up a word, internetaro. That is not how you say internet in Spanish, okay? All right, y'all. Internetaro. It sounded good, don't it? So Romy and Jake said they weren't just our parents, they were our best friends, the statement reads. That is horrible. This is where I feel like tough love has to come into play, right? Like if you know that you have someone in your family and they are struggling with addiction, or you see them going the wrong way and you're like, hold up. When it's like when they say with the see something, say something. Now your parents may not listen. You best believe that their two siblings, probably his two siblings, says something to the parents and this, that, and the third. But so many times we think that something is not going to happen, and it does. So we have to really, and this is a totally different tax bracket of people. So things that we may try to hide from people in our town so we don't look bad is totally different on another level when you are when you are an A-list celebrity, right? So it's they should have cut him off. It sounds like they probably did. That's why he was homeless, but it may have should have been cut off until they knew that he was clean and doing better. But like I said, I'm not a parent, right? So, some parents are just like, oh, I'm gonna make excuses. Oh, I'm gonna make excuses. Oh, I'm gonna make excuses until there's some slow singing and flower bringing. Yeah. You said, I'm sure parents love their children unconditionally. Yes. And it's just like, well, when is there the tough love? Because you can love your child and still want to save their life and give them some tough love, right? But I'm not a parent, so I don't know. But I feel for, my heart breaks for them because it's like they love their child unconditionally, and he took their life from their other children as well. And it seemed like when they made that documentary or whatever, that project, when they did that project together, they were asking Rob Reiner this, that, and the third, and it was like, well, ask him, he's right there, because this is about Nick. And then Nick comes on and they have this, and I guarantee you he was trying. Well, I don't know, I can't guarantee that, but I will hope that Rob was trying to have a better relationship with his son. But it's hard when you're not there and you have these amazing careers and people make all this money, but the parent is not there. Then the children will come about, and there can be thank you so much, Saint. She just sent me I don't know what any of these things mean, but thank you so much, lovely. I love you so much, sister. I appreciate you. She sent me some hot cocoa for the cold nights because I ain't got no man. Let me stop, y'all. Thank you so much for the hot cocoa. I appreciate you. Um, I feel for them because I know that they were loving their son. I hope that they were loving their son unconditionally. And they wanted, he's been in and out of rehab, so they've been putting money into his health and trying to get him back to normal, and get rid of this addiction or be able to live with the addiction. But it's just unfortunate that their unconditional love took their lives. That's the sad part. Because we know, and it may come out in a trial, and then later on with the reporters and reporting what has happened within the trial and what's going to come, because all of that is going to come out unless he pleads guilty. All of that is going to come out. Now, 9 times out of 10, he's probably going to take a plea. He's probably going to take a plea because he's looking at life without the possibility of parole or the unaliving penalty. And if they have irrefutable evidence on him, like Elisa said, what if they had cameras in the house? Because this went quick. But you also got to think about it, because I was like, well, wait, who in their home? So who has access to their home? Because I know that they don't live in the hood. So I know that somebody, when they brought up Charlie Kirk, I was like, I know that someone that is, whatever, like, oh, we don't like him because he's a Democrat, whatever. If they were going to do that, how did they get into this upscale LA neighborhood? So when I heard that, I was like, this doesn't sound right. Something is missing. And then they started talking about the son. I was like, I know this boy did not unalive his parents. That's the first thing I said. But it makes sense, because who can get into their home to do that to them? This is not a regular place. They living in I mean, I go into some places delivering Instacart, and I'm like, y'all got gates. Y'all houses ain't even popping like that. So it's some money in here then. It's money in the neighborhood. So with this story, I want to close this, and I'm going to tie in the next one. But I want you all to take from this to pay attention to the people around you. And if you see something, say something. Even if your friend or family member will be angry with you, at least you will have some type of solace. God forbid something happens. You'll have some type of solace knowing that, you know what? I'm sorry that this happened, but my spirit is easy because I did share this with them. I did bring this to their attention. Now, we don't have control over stuff, but I wouldn't want to say, I wouldn't want to see that, hey, the end of that road is a cliff. And I see people going down this dead end, and I'm like, and they just flying. I'm like, hey, slow down, it's a cliff there. I'm going to tell you, whether you like it or not. Oh, shut up, I'm trying to kill myself. I don't know, right? But if I see something, I'm gonna say something. Are you okay? Because I'm grateful for the people that ask me, was I okay? Because I wasn't mentally for a long time. A lawyer from Ohio contact me, and then nothing happens, and then this one, and then I'm getting stalked by a 60-year-old senior citizen that has me scared to death. Like, a senior citizen stalking me? What in the hell is this, right? So I wasn't okay mentally. But for the people that contacted me, for the people that talk to me when I'm crying, I appreciate you all, because this is what humanity is about. I'm strong mentally, kind of physically, emotionally, but even the strong people need help at times. I'm still human. I still cry. I still bleed like everybody else. I'm not superhuman. I wish I was. I wish I had superpowers where it's like, what? You can say whatever you want. I ain't got no feelings. But no, that's a sociopath. I don't want that. That's a sociopath. So many people on death row right now it's not being carried out. I did see that. I'm like, so even if he gets that, he may still be, and I don't understand why. Because sometimes I look at true crime, and it's like, okay, 2017, he was put on death row. 2019, bye bye. So I don't know how I guess because they also have to go through a certain process of appeals, and the appeals have to be denied and things like that. But I'm just like, how you on death row for 20 years? Then what did you get death row for? And why are the taxpayers keeping you alive when you got the death penalty? Go ahead and put them in there, stick the needle in, flip the switch, and say bye-bye, and we going about our damn business, right? I'm just saying. Am I with capital punishment? People may not like that. I feel like with certain crimes, people just get a slap on the wrist, and that's why it happens over and over and over and over. And I just feel like when you're stealing, hey, cut the finger off, cut the tip off. I mean, you do something, they're not going to steal again. I look at life a little bit differently, and it may be my trauma as to what I have been through. I mean, I look at being a police officer, not police, but working for the FBI or working for a certain department in a certain department. I mean, if I had the opportunity to go back to school for something, for accounting, if I had the opportunity to go back to school for accounting, then I would want to work for the police in the accounting department. I mean, these people, these criminals, Quasi, Art, and Phoenix, they have made me look at the police differently. Minus, let me just put up on the shelf what Black people are doing, or the interaction with Black people and the police. Let me just put that, or people of color with the police. Let me just put that up here on the shelf, right? Minus that, take that out the equation. What is happening? These criminals are out of control. Now, let's just talk about the good police. They're busy. They are busy. Why couldn't they do anything about the stalking of Shrek? Because that is considered a low-level crime. Did she unalive you? No. If she did, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you, putting in a complaint, right? So low-level crimes, they like, we ain't got time for that because we don't have. But then we don't have enough officers. But then on the flip side, I know somebody that went for the police. Had big afro, big hair. He cut his hair because he wanted to be police. Now, yes, he's a homosexual, but that has nothing to do with anything, as far as I'm concerned. Are you going there to hit on the police officers? No, that's your lifestyle behind the scenes. But if you're not going out there flamboyant, you should be able to apply for the police department. So every time I saw him when I went into this store doing Instacart, I'm like, I hadn't seen him. So I'm like, he's police now, right? I went in the other day. I was like, so we have good news? He said, no. I said, mother, son of a lover. Hold on. Don't I see commercials asking about police? We need police. You want to be a police officer, and they turn him away? Oh, you scored excellent. This, that, and the third. Maybe it's because he's Black, but he light skinned. He lighter than me. But or maybe they saw that he was a homosexual. I don't know, but they turned him away, and I'm just like, but didn't you say y'all need police? Because I see the commercials on here all the time. But I do feel like some states need to be harder on the criminals. I do, because look at Art Kathy and Quasi Boyd and Phoenix Rain. Quasi Boyd is scamming again. Is it on this phone? No, it's on the phone that I'm on. When I posted something, I took some pictures, and the pictures from the website, the Leap website, and I posted it on TikTok. And TikTok showed me, I'll show y'all the short. TikTok showed me this is of AI content. These pictures are AI. Didn't I tell you about Quasi, or Quasi's alleged new website that he's scamming in the Gambia? I'm going to break that down for you all. Not in this video, but I'm going to break it down. One thing I want to say is, if you look at LEAP, it's supposed to be an acronym, right? This is when you know that people are illiterate. League of African Patriots. League of African Patriots. So technically it should be LOAP. But when people are illiterate and they don't understand an acronym, they're going to take the first two letters of the first word, forget about the O, and then put the A and the P. Don't believe me? Go to www.leagueofafricanpatriots.com, and you're going to see that the illiterate person that did that website, that's not a proper acronym. So with all of the misspelled words, and we know that that's Quasi, but then you got these high rises with no, first of all, a high rise, are you going to have Are you going to have an elevator for this high building? Because most of the people that are going are older and they're not going to walk up all those steps. Okay. So we just got to sit back and think about it and come up out of, take these rose colored glasses off and look at Africa for the way it is, and maybe talk to somebody or listen to someone's channel that's actually real and telling the truth. Okay. Because if the lights can't stay on, how the hell are you going to have an elevator that goes up to 100 floors in the Gambia? Who is Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and the Mormons? So now let's go to, we're going to close this up. Now, the way I'm connecting this is a family annihilator, right? So we already know Nick was a family annihilator. Now, it was his mother and father. Thank God no one else was at the house, right? Thank God no one else was there. But let's go over to, I think this was Detroit. And this person has the same surname of Quasi Boyd. Is it the name? I don't know. Now, this person, Rick James, told us that cocaine is a hell of a drug, right? Now, you could throw the rest of all the drugs in there, add a D to that. You could throw the rest of all the drugs in there too. And some are worse than others, but all of them will destroy you and the people around you. And we saw that with Nick Reiner, right? And we're going to see this in this case. This case is just the same. In this case, it did just that. So in both cases, the addiction or the drugs destroyed them and destroy the addict and the people around them. Now, like I said, what does a parent do? What does a parent do to ignore the warning signs when you are afraid of your child? Now, Kevin Boyd Sr. It's just so sad when you think about things like 2020, hindsight being 2020. So imagine this man, Kevin Boyd Sr., growing up, and he said he never wanted any children. He said, I don't want any children. And then he meets Lynn. Lynn wants children. Kevin didn't want any children. Let me tell the story. Lynn wanted children. When he married Lynn, Lynn wanted children. He protested, but eventually gave in. Now, let me tell you the story of Kevin Boyd Sr., Kevin Boyd Jr., and Lynn. This is a hot mess. Okay, so Kevin Boyd was 16 years old when he unalived his dad. Imagine never wanting any children, and then giving in, and your son takes your life. Kevin Boyd dedicated his life to working hard and providing for his family. This is Kevin Boyd Sr. Instead of gratitude, his ex-wife and son rewarded him with betrayal and bloodshed. Boyd was born in 1951 and grew up in Berkeley, Michigan, a suburb of Detroit. What did I just say about suburbs? Right? I just said something about the suburbs, right? They have the money and the children are just out there wowing. Not me. I will be in school. I will be starting businesses. I will be studying abroad. I'm traveling. You let my family have money. Ain't no way I'm out here doing rugs and drinking alcohol and doing a hot mess nation. No, that's not me. So he was a little redheaded, He was a little redhead with freckles. He had the personality to match his sister Lynette Hyde told Snap. This was on Oxygen, right? It's on other channels, but this is from Oxygen. It's from Oxygen website. In the early 1970s, Kevin met a woman named Lynn, whose quiet demeanor contrasted with his gregoriousness. They married in 1975, and their son, Kevin Jr., was born in 1977. If I don't want any children, I probably wouldn't get married. Or if I was Kevin Boyd Sr. and I met Lynn and I knew for a fact that I never wanted to have any children, I would have secretly gotten a vasectomy. But hindsight is 2020, like I said. So Kevin opened a tool rental company in Lake Orion, Michigan, a former resort town which he had a bed which had become a bedroom community. Okay, let me stop reading like I'm Shrek. Okay, so um they married in 1975 and their son Kevin Jr. was born in 1977. Kevin Sr. opened a tool rental company in Lake Orion, Michigan, a former resort town which had become a bedroom community. This is Kevin Sr. Okay? That's Kevin Boyd Sr. It was a steady business. We were outgrowing the location we were in, and that's how busy we were, a former employee, Donald Lucarelli, told producers. But while Kevin's work life prospered, his home life was falling apart. You see how these stories correlate? Lynn struggled with alcoholism, and Kevin Jr. would later claim that indeed both his parents were alcoholics. The Detroit Free Press newspaper reported in 2017. So they drank, which that happens a lot in the Caucasian community. They'll drink, and then in the Black people communities, people smoke weed. But in America, alcohol is better than weed, but alcohol will kill you. Weed won't. Lynn then told Kevin she was leaving him for another woman around Christmas 1988. Yes, you heard it correctly. Lynn then told Kevin she was leaving him for another woman around Christmas of 1988. Kevin was totally shocked, said the sister. I think this is Kevin's sister. Now, let me give y'all a little context, a little recap. So Kevin Boyd Sr. meets Lynn. Lynn, I guess she didn't know she was a lesbian. I don't know. When did she know she was a lesbian? But Lynn marries Kevin. She has her son. Maybe because she knew that at that time she couldn't have a child if she was a lesbian. But did she use Kevin? It sounds like she used Kevin Boyd Sr. Now, this man never wanted to have a child. Now he ends up having a child with a woman that is a lesbian. Now she didn't left him. They got married in 1975, it said, right? They married in 1975, and then in 1988, they were divorced. So, 13 years. 13 years. I guarantee you he is kicking himself like, damn it, I never even wanted to have a child. Right? So, in 13 years, she decided, I'm a lesbian. I don't want you anymore. We're getting divorced, and I'm leaving you for a woman. In spite of that, Kevin tried to move on. He gave Lynn the house and moved into an apartment. Seems like Kevin was a stand-up guy. But when there is addiction involved, my teeth are looking whiter. When there is addiction involved, then it can turn into something crazy, right? But they said that he gave Lynn the house and moved into an apartment. Lynn had primary custody, but he and Kevin Jr. still saw each other frequently. As a teenager, though, Kevin Jr. began to rebel. He drank. Now Kevin Jr. drinking. He drank and smoked, tried to commit unaliving himself, and went through 10 different schools before dropping out, according to the Detroit Free Press. His parents eventually decided he might do better with living with his father. Their time together, however, would be cut short. On August 6, 1994, a maintenance worker found 16-year-old Kevin Jr. distraught in the parking lot of the apartment complex where he lived, saying his father was unalive. This individual went inside of the apartment, turned on the lights, and saw Kevin Sr., excuse me, saw Kevin Sr. basically lying in a pool of sangre. If you don't know what sangre is, just put it together. Former Oakland County Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Mark Bill Govak told Snap. That's what he told Snap, that, this individual went inside the apartment, turned on the lights, and saw Kevin Sr. basically lying in a pool of his own sangre. Kevin Sr. was on the living room floor with a pillow over his head. It appeared he had suffered blunt force trauma to the head and multiple wounds. When you use a knife to do whatever, something violent, when you use a knife, that's very personal. Very, very personal. So, with the number of wounds we saw there, it appeared it was definitely a crime of violence and passion. For they're probably saying that about Nick as well, depending on how many wounds are in Rob and Michelle. A crime of passion. He was mad. Nick was mad at that argument. Whatever the argument was about, he was mad, and he took it out on his parents. So it says, because it looked like, because of so with the number of wounds we saw, it appeared to definitely be a crime of violence and passion, and that led us to believe that whoever did this knew the victim. This was the detective. This was the former Oakland County Sheriff's Detective Sergeant Patrick Miles. That's a lot of freaking words in my mouth. The placement of the body indicated that Kevin Sr. had been asleep in a recliner chair when he was attacked. He literally wouldn't have known what hit him. The apartment had been ransacked and several items were missing, but there was no sign of a break-in. Kevin Jr. told investigators that he had spent the previous night at his girlfriend's after a fight with his dad. Once he say after the fight with the dad, what happens? Same thing, right? Just like with Nick Reiner. This was according to court documents. The next morning, he came home and discovered his dad. He also said his father owned several pals, which were missing from the apartment. A local musician then contacted police to say that he had found Kevin Sr.'s wallet in the back of his pickup truck after a gig at a local bar. Wow. This helped investigators narrow down the time of the unaliving to be between 11 p.m. when the musicians arrived at his gig and 3 a.m. when he left. Kevin Sr.'s wallet still contained cash and his credit card, ruling out the possibility of a robbery. So when someone is doing a crime like this, I think, I've never done this, so I don't know, but I think that they are kind of like focused on specific things, and that's when they forget other things. That's how sometimes they say it's a perfect crime, but you're always going to forget something. Not always, because there are some people that crimes are still unalivings are still unsolved. But it says an autopsy will reveal Kevin Sr. had been struck repeatedly in the head with a blunt object and over 20 times, according to the Detroit Free Press. Those wounds were found on the face, stomach, and back. His own son, 16 years old. There was a paint transfer from an object that was used to hit him in the head, where they hit him so hard they split his skin open, and there was black paint that was found embedded in his skull. Jesus Christ. That let investigators know we're dealing with a black elongated object such as a baseball bat. Investigators spoke to Lynn Boyd. That was the ex-wife, who claimed she had a good relationship with her ex-husband. She said that on the night of the unaliving, she had been home watching movies with her girlfriend, Julie Grain, who confirmed Lynn's alibi. Donald Lucarelli, one of Kevin's senior employees, who was briefly considered a person of interest, but was cleared after passing a polygraph test. When asked who he thought might have murdered Kevin Sr., he implicated Lynn Boyd, the ex-wife. After the funeral, Lynn never came up there. Little Kevin never came up there to the burial site. Whoever wrote this is horrible. Well, I guess that's the way they were talking. I found out the next day that the reason they didn't go to the burial site is they They were too busy at the courthouse getting paper rights to take over Lake Orion Rental. So they didn't go to the burial site because they were too busy trying to take over the business. Father, mother, and son. When detectives went to interview Lynn again, they were informed she had retained a lawyer. Uh-oh. Cutting off direct communication between her and her son with law enforcement. Well, that's the first thing. That's the first red flag. You getting a lawyer? What do you have to hide? In November of 1994, though, a break in the case came when Grain, with Julie Grain, that's the girlfriend, contacted detectives and said she wanted to recant her initial statement to the police. So, Lynn's girlfriend, that originally corroborated Lynn's alibi, contacted the police and said she wanted to recant her initial statement. That was in November of 1994. Let me see. Okay. So let's keep going. Julie Grain basically said that she had lied. The girlfriend lied. And that Lynn had, in fact, left her house the night of the murder and was gone for several hours, between approximately 10 at night to 3 in the morning. Now, are y'all lying for other people? Because I'm going to say this. I have seen murder amongst friends where they it's like, hey, so this person, I want to go and get unalive them. Will you come and do this with me? I'm not gonna be, hell no. And you told the wrong person, because if the police come and ask me, I'm gonna tell them that was you. You asked me to help you. So why would I be with someone and lie to them, lie to the police for someone that I know just went out and unalived someone? Couldn't they come back and do this to me? I don't understand people. I don't understand people and their love and their loyalty for supporting someone that's a criminal. Do it on your own. Each man for himself. I'm not helping anyone with unaliving or after the fact. Why would I do that when I had nothing to do? So she, I guess she must have thought about it like, okay, I'm lying to the police and I know she was going. Let me go tell the police before I end up in prison. So I guess she wising up real quick. Grain said Lynn had been with her son on the night of the unaliving and asked her to lie to police. Since the murder, she's lucky that they didn't charge her for lying to them, but they needed her testimony. So that's probably why they didn't charge her. Since the murder, their relationship had deteriorated, and Grain was now worried she would be implicated in Kevin Sr.'s murder. You see? That's what I said. She like, Their relationship deteriorated because she's sitting there looking at her like, hold on, you want me to lie to the police? You were with your son, and now your ex-husband is gone, and he was unalived tragically, violently? No. So I guess the relationship would deteriorate. She said late October, Lynn admitted to her that she had killed Kevin. Late October, and she came to the police November of 1994. When in November? I wouldn't have been holding on to that. Who is this? This is Lynn Boyd and Kevin Boyd. Well, they both look alike. That's Lynn Boyd and Kevin Boyd. Mother and son. Boy, they got the same sideways face and everything. Now, there had to be like some brainwashing going on for her to get her son to unalive his father, right? But let's see what this says. Detectives subsequently retrieved one of Kevin Sr.'s pals, which his son had asked an associate to dispose of for him. They also spoke to Kevin Jr.'s girlfriend, who admitted that the night of the unaliving, she had driven him to a Burger King where he had met with his mother, according to court documents. On December 18th, 1994, Lynn called the Oakland County Sheriff's Department and said she was responsible for her husband's unaliving. When she met with detectives, she claimed the unaliving was done on the behest of her girlfriend. What in the hell, Grain? Wait. Lynn ain't SHIT. Read this. I'm going to read this again. On December 18th, 1994, Lynn, the ex-wife, the mother of Kevin Boyd Jr., called the Oakland Sheriff's Department and said she was responsible for her husband's murder. When she met with detectives, she claimed that the murder was done at the behest of her girlfriend, Grain. So she's saying that Grain told her to kill her ex-husband. Why? What connection does her new girlfriend have with her ex-husband? Criminals, when they are caught up and they realize that they didn't cover their tracks, Quasi Boyd, that's when they get nervous. Y'all, Quasi should be nervous. I'm just going to say this. If y'all go back to the follow the money, on the spreadsheet, it says $67,500. When I invested $14,000, the bottom of the paper still says $67,500. I have my eyes closed because I have a photographic memory, so I'm trying to remember exactly what I saw. When I invested $16,000, at the bottom it still said $67,500. So why didn't the money go up? Shouldn't the money have went up? If I went from 14,000 to 16,000, right? And then also on that paper it says 67 properties. They do not have 67 properties. But this is what you gave investors. This lawyer going to tear his ass up. Because this lawyer understands and he's listening. Now, do you all know that when I counted the money in Quasi Boyd's bank account, that it was almost 142,000? Does that mean that Quasi Boyd took half of the investors' money? You know, people get greedy. People get real greedy and they take too much. Okay, so now let's finish this up because y'all know I be talking and it's almost 2 hours. Okay, so Lynn tried to blame it on her new girlfriend, ex-girlfriend now. It says, I didn't want to do this, but she wanted to do it. Lynn is heard saying in recordings of her police interview obtained by Snap. Then Julie stabbed him right in the stomach. She's saying Julie did this? I can't. Lynn, you should have came up with a better lie than that, honey child. You gonna say that your girlfriend did that? Why? Because she was so in love with you that she was threatened by your ex-husband? This doesn't even make any sense. Criminals and liars, they're narcissists, so they think we're stupid. Detectives had always suspected that Lynn didn't act alone, but Grain had already passed the polygraph test. Okay, so they couldn't blame that on the ex-girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend. Instead, they believed Lynn's co-conspirator was her own son, Kevin Boyd Jr., the same son that Kevin Sr. never wanted to have. Jesus Christ. Kevin Jr. was arrested the same day as his mother. While he was initially defiant, he finally confessed after being presented with the pow he had stolen from his father at the time of the unaliving. The detectives asked him, what type of person would do this to somebody like your father? And he put his head down and said, you're looking at him. Damn, that's messed up. Now, this boy was 16. So he was definitely groomed by his mom to do this. It says, I went, whoa, wait a second here, Kevin. You're telling me you killed your dad? He said, yeah. So then he gave it all up, Miles told producers. Kevin Jr. said he and his mother had plotted the murder together and waited outside his father's apartment building until they thought he had fallen asleep. Then they snuck in and attacked him. He claimed Lynn struck his father several times with the bat. Improbably, Kevin Sr. got to his feet, so she hit him again and again until he stayed down. When Kevin was asked, what did you do at that point? He says something to the effect of, I just went crazy with the knife. He admitted that he just started stabbing his dad over and over and over again. Lynn and Kevin Jr. were incarcerated pending trial. In their absence, Lake Orion Rentals shut down and all its equipment was auctioned off in March of 1995. As the last item, an air compressor was being removed, a knife wrapped in a t-shirt fell out from behind it. The t-shirt belonged to Kevin Jr., and the knife matched the wounds on his father's body. So he hid the murder weapon at his father's business. This is sad. These parents be working so hard and trying to give a better life to their children, and this is what happens. So he worked so hard to start this business and give his family, his wife and his child a better life, and they unalived him, and his hard work, all his hard work, his business was shut down and auctioned off. Jesus. Lynn Boyd and Kevin Boyd Jr. were tried separately for the murder of Kevin Boyd Sr. in 1996. Though Kevin Jr. was 16 at the time of the crime, he was tried as an adult. Prosecutors said that the motive was financial, as the Boyds wanted to receive Kevin Sr.'s life insurance policy payout. They were both found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life without parole, according to court documents. Now, in 2012, I don't know if you all know, but the Supreme Court ruled that you cannot um, sentence a minor to life without the possibility of parole. So his life without the possibility of parole sentence was overturned. This is what I'm getting ready to read. In 2012, a Supreme Court ruling vacated the life sentences of over 2,500 juvenile offenders. As a result, Kevin Boyd Jr. was resentenced in 2019 to 25 years in prison, making him immediately eligible for parole. Kevin Boyd Sr. was released on parole in January of 2020. The Oakland Press reported at the time. Lynn Boyd is currently incarcerated at Woman's Huron Valley Correctional Facility, according to Michigan Department of Corrections. So, let me see. I do have another picture for you all to show you all, and this combination of photos show Kevin Boyd with his father, Kevin Sr., and mother Lynn. Um, yeah. So let's do this. Dang, we should have known something was wrong with Lynn. Look at her toes. Look at her feet, y'all. We should have known was something wrong with her. Look at her feet. Jesus. She looks like a weird non-real person, right? Jesus. But look at this. So this is Len and Kevin Jr. when he was younger. And then this is Kevin Sr. and Kevin Jr. So even though he never wanted a son, it looks like he was actually trying with his son. But if they were alcoholics, then they were already exposing their son to addiction issues, right? So if they were drinking, then it was hereditary for Kevin to start drinking and eventually doing smoking, and then if he's drinking at a young, because the boy was 16. Y'all heard me say he was 16 when he unalived his father. So if he had a drinking problem, then his brain hasn't even fully matured for him to really make conscious decisions. So what happens? He is easily manipulated by his mother. I don't know why I can't talk now. He is easily manipulated by his mother to unalive his father. So when he stood there and then he went crazy, they probably were drunk. She probably pumped him full of drugs, because what normal person that's in their right mind is going to say, let me go unalive my daddy? The daddy that gave you such a nice life. Your mother's the one that started cheating with another woman. So this is it. This is That's Kevin Boyd, and they were trying to get him out of prison. And this is him with his girlfriend just before he was paroled. Now, are y'all marrying anyone in prison? Not me, but Miss Pearson did. How do you now? Okay, this is my thing, and I'm closing with this. Okay, is it there isn't a question as to did he do it, right? We know he did it. There's no question that there's no question about did Kevin Lloyd unalive his daddy. No, we know he did that. Okay, so this has been on for like 2 hours. See, I put it on. You see how it kind of straightens out, but then it'll start folding again but as this goes down, the swelling is going down a lot. Y'all remember the swelling was a hot mess. Um, Dang, I forgot what I was saying. I'm closing up. Oh, how does someone marry someone that's in prison? Because there isn't a question as to did Kevin Boyd unalive his father. There's no question that he did it. So we know that he did it. He's been in prison for I think he was in prison for like 20 some odd years. So my thing is how does she even find this dude? He's in prison. You just, well, let me see. Oh, he killed his daddy. Let me go and be his pen pal. I don't understand. I don't understand. And then when you're with this person and he comes home, now you're talking to him and writing letters and you falling in love with the thought of him. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm putting my shoes on. You're falling in love with the thought of him, but in reality, he unalived his father. So are you ever afraid of being with this person? Like when he gets out, like, oh my God, he's gonna be living with me. Do you think about he unalived his dad? Is that gone? Has he healed from it? But now he has gotten degrees and um he came out of prison at more educated than some people on the streets. He got a degree, he got some certifications, and then he's white. So, even with a record, he will be able to get a job. He fits the description. He shouldn't have any issues getting a job. That's why when I see poor white people, I'm like, what are you doing? Do you not know that you are an American? Do you not know that this is your country? Oh, my last name is white, but maybe if my skin color was white, I'll be different. I would take advantage of it. I would take advantage of it. That's just me. But I appreciate you all. I'm about to take Stella for a bathroom break. And I'm going to send this sister some money, right? I told you all. God told me to send her some money, so I'm going to be obedient. Even though at first I'm like, I'm going to send her some money, right? Because I appreciate each and every person that sent me money when I was going through it. And what she's going through, she didn't ask for this. And then when you don't have a support system, we expect our mothers and our fathers to be there for us unconditionally. But we can see that Lynn used her son for money to unalive her ex-husband to get the business, right? We see that Nick Reiner unalived his parents for whatever reason. I think it was for money, so he can feed his habit. So it's just extremely unfortunate when things like this happen. But we all know that sometimes parents aren't always treating their children the best. And when this happens, and this is a woman, I'm going to help. God has blessed me. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Thank you, Father. In spite of what I have lost. And if God tells me, give her X amount of dollars, I'm like, really? Can't I just give her half of that? No, I'm listening. I did not listen 5 years ago. I God told me get out of the Gambia. I didn't listen. No, I can help. He told me this is what I wanted you to do, which was expose these scammers, and then you were supposed to leave, but you didn't. And yes, you went through all of this, and yes, no one can take anything away from you that you have learned in the Gambia, but you suffered, and you didn't have to because you didn't listen. So I'm listening now, and I'm grateful for the joy that I have, not just happiness, joy. I'm grateful that my joy is coming back. And thank you to everyone that has sent a word of encouragement, sent love, whether you sent it virtually, whether you sent money, whether you listened to my bullish on the phone, whether you texted me. Thank you. Thank you. Because you all helped me to get back to where I was. Yes, I was trying, but I was in a place that had no natural light. My address was, I was doxxed, right? You see how I turned a little bit? My address was online. I didn't feel safe. I was robbed, all of these horrible things. But someone, a few people, multiple people really actually care about Tay Tay. They're like, girl, these ninjas is trifling. If you don't duck it, I got the house that I wanted, right? I'm losing weight. I'm getting me back. And it's no thanks to the people in the Gambia that did me dirty, whether they were Americans or Gambians, or the people in America that did me dirty, whether they were Americans or Gambians. Shout out to Ibrahima. Shout out to Letitia. Y'all get the Pieces Award of the day. I just thank God for the real people. The people that weren't, Letitia was trying to send me money all the time. You thought you could send me money and treat me bad? Girl, you can't, I'm not your children. You can't buy me, boo. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the good and the bad because it's all going in my books. So what the devil means for bad, God can turn it around for good. Thank you. Thank you, Juan Carlos, for the diamonds. Thank you, Saint, for the hot cocoa. And I appreciate you guys. Keep an eye on your friends, your family, and the strangers that you don't know. If you see something wrong, just ask them, are you okay? Are you okay? You may get some tears. You may get some tears. But be that listening ear because you never know what someone is going through. I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Take care.